Juve legend wants Pogba back. Real Madrid could let Ramos join PSG. Kevin De Bruyne rips up the playbook. Bundesliga clubs want wonderkid, and a transfer roundup all coming up in the next few minutes. As I'm your host, Matt Froelich, you are the OneFootballers, and this is the Daily News. So first up, Paul Pogba is wanted back at Juventus by none other than former legend Claudio Marchisio. The former Italy midfielder has since retired, but spent a fair few years playing alongside Paul Pogba in the midfield, and he tweeted him yesterday saying he'd be so happy if the Frenchman returned. This is of course after the last few days of talk that Pogba is definitely not happy at Manchester United. Since joining up with the international side, he has said that coming to France has been a breath of fresh air and that the whole team are pulling in the same direction, and it's not exactly the same at club level. Honestly, usually when football's complain a bit, I'm not really too impressed. I think they should do their talking on the pitch. Having said that, Pogba can't really do his talking on the pitch because Solskjaer isn't really playing him. Honestly, Paul Pogba hasn't played so few minutes, probably since he was a kid. He's not getting the chance to show what he can do, yet when he comes in the national team, he's absolutely fine. He's the Paul Pogba that we've seen. Obviously, you can point to the fact that Didier Deschamps plays a different system to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. There's a different level of players. France have better players than Manchester United, that's just a fact. Having said that, you can't help but think that Pogba would do a little bit better for Manchester United if he was just getting a consistent run of games. Obviously, Solskjaer is the one who picks the team and you can't really go against him, but there is an incredible talent that United need to basically bring out, otherwise no matter how many years he plays at the club, £89 million will look like a waste of money. And no, for those of you asking, is that Manchester United bashing? Nope. Not Manchester United bashing at all. They've got a great player in Paul Pogba and they just need to make the best out of him. Having said that, if Juventus do not sign Paul Pogba, apparently both them and Manchester United are interested in someone completely different. That is Ajax's Ryan Gravenberch, who apparently might be available next summer and looks to be the next big thing in the centre of midfield. Moving on though, and to PSG and apparently their mammoth offer for Sergio Ramos. Now you're probably thinking Sergio Ramos is a Real Madrid legend. He's definitely going to sign a new contract, but Madrid have a policy of not offering anything more than a one-year deal to players over 30, and Ramos is 34. Having said that, surely they can make an exception for such a legend. Like, he's given 16 years worth of incredible service to the club and won absolutely everything there is to win. Surely they could just give him a one more year deal. Like, that's all he wants, is another 2 years to retire at the club when he's 36 and to play one season in the brand new Santiago Bernabeu, which should be completed by the 2022 season. His contract runs out next summer, so he wants a contract that runs until 2023. But Florentino Perez, having none of it. He said recently in an interview that if PSG come in or if anyone comes in with a suitable offer, they may have to consider it. That, of course, is only in January, because from then on, if they don't offer Ramos a new deal, he can speak to any foreign club and can agree a move for next summer. PSG are apparently top of the list when it comes to offering him big deals because, well, they're the only ones who've got money to throw around for the 34-year-old. Apparently, they're going to give him £18 million after tax for 3 years. Like, this is nuts. That's an insane amount of money for somebody who's 34. Don't get me wrong, I still think Ramos is one of the best in Europe. And yeah, for the next season and a half he could be, but as he enters 36, 37, actually, having said that, Thiago Silva did a pretty good job. Who knows? Maybe it will be worth it. Anyway, it will be up to Ramos to decide come January 1st. So, if Real Madrid President Florentino Perez does not want to annoy Zidane, annoy the rest of the players, or annoy the fans, he'll sign up Ramos to a brand new deal. Next up, and to Kevin De Bruyne, a wonderful assister, but could be assisting himself when it comes to contract negotiations at Manchester City. A few months ago, with his former agent arrested for money laundering, well, suspicion of money laundering, De Bruyne is now sitting down with Manchester City and representing himself in contract talks. Normally, players leave it to their agents, the family members, the clubs, and the important people around them hash all this stuff out. But no, Kevin De Bruyne is assisting himself, like I said, and going in to discuss a mammoth contract. He says he's happy at Manchester City, even when they had the potential of a Champions League ban looming over their heads. He's 29 years old. It's going to be a huge contract for basically the highlight of his career over the next few years, and he wants more than £300,000 per week. Honestly, he said the real reason he's doing it is because he loves Manchester, like I said, and on top of this, he's on really good terms with the Manchester City board. You can't help but feel that if you weren't, you definitely wouldn't go into these negotiations by yourself. Like, I'm sure he knows a lot about contracts and what he's doing and what he's being paid. That's a bit different than being an actual person who's trained to negotiate these kind of deals. Anyway, if he manages to do it himself, great. And if the Manchester City board, well, I guess not really giving to his demands, they'll look a bit foolish because it looks like they're insulting their greatest player. So basically, Kevin De Bruyne has got pretty good cards to play, and I've no doubt he'll be managing to talk himself into a fine new contract with a fat pay rise. Following on from this, and Omer Baez is a name that you may not have heard of just yet. He is a 17-year-old that plays for Fenerbahce and making big waves. Apparently Barcelona made an offer to him last summer, but his parents didn't want him to join the club, instead preferring that he moves to the Bundesliga. So that is where Schalke and Dortmund are not only going head-to-head on the pitch as great rivals, but also in trying to bring him to the top tier of German football. He's only made a few appearances for Fenerbahce, but it's clear that he has got an abundance of talent. In fact, he made his debut last summer at the age of 16 in the Turkish Cup, and this season has gone on to turn quite a few more heads. If they don't get anything done, you can be sure that a load more big clubs in Europe will be vying for his signature. In fact, the one fault on Fenerbahce's part is that his contract runs out next summer, so they may end up losing him on a free or for a nominal fee, having trained him at their youth academy. Anyway, alongside this, of course, Turkey are known for producing some exceptional talented footballers that move to the Bundesliga, so you could definitely see him moving in former players' footsteps and going to the likes of Schalke or Dortmund. Finally then, a quick roundup for the rest of the day's news that you might have missed, and Luis Suarez has tested positive for COVID-19, meaning he is going to miss the return of himself to Barcelona at the weekend as his Atleti side face off against his former club. Talking of Barcelona, and they have to pay Lionel Messi a €30 million loyalty bonus at the end of the season, even if he decides to leave the club. Carlo Ancelotti is hoping for a reunion with Arkadiusz Milik, the player that he coached at Napoli. And lastly but not least, Manchester United goalkeeper Dean Henderson is open for a loan move to Celtic. That's all from me then. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you check out the rest of the stuff we got going on OneFootball on screen now. Leave your comments, and until next time, I will see you guys later.